Hey Bookies, today I'm very tired, but I'm going to go over stuff that I am unhauling. So let's get started. Fun fact about me is I unhaul books as I go because I have so many. see the quarterly TBR update video as to how many, but because I have so many, I don't have a lot of space for them, so I am in a constant state of unhauling books. That means I have at least 2 or 3 bags. When I finish a book, I decide right then and there whether I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to get rid of it. And if it is an ARC, it's going to go to a free little library. If it's a finished copy, it's going to go to a book reseller. Recently, I've been going to Recently, I've been going to McKay's because Second and Charles done made me mad. They accept ARCs, and even after I emailed the CEO and he got back to me saying that he would update me, he didn't. I told the author who told the publisher, apparently that didn't do anything either because we can't tell if anything's an ARC. Let me show you an example of an ARC if you don't know what I'm talking about. This is an ARC. Most of the time they have this. It says, this is an uncorrected advance proof, not for sale. I mean, plain and simple. It also has like the date it's published on the spine, and on the back it doesn't have a barcode. Some of them do have a barcode, but they will, say that this is an uncorrected advance proof. So, so there's that. It's just them being lazy. I also think that that particular store, that I informed the manager of what he was doing was wrong, but he kept refuting me and kept talking down to me like I was a simpleton. And then he tried to get his employees to lie to me. There's a whole other story. But I think that they were... Because I asked him up front. I'm like, so do you guys get ARCs? Yes, we do. And we share ARCs. We all know what ARCs are, which... Not all of them know what ARCs are because 2 employees did not know what I was talking about when I mentioned ARC. When I said, hey, this is an ARC that was on your shelf. And they were like, So, obviously, something's not clicking there. Not all of them know what an ARC is at that store, which is a bit suspicious, which means that not all the ARCs are getting passed around to the employees. And so then when I say, well, what if your employee tried to sell an ARC? They wouldn't do that. They're integral. Which, I'm sure that the employees are, but the manager was giving an air of like, I am a big strong man, how dare you question me, blah blah blah, and trying to intimidate me and stuff like that. So I tend to think that and he was like, they can't use their own ID, it'll flag it in the system. I'm like, well, they can use someone else's. I use my husband's all the time, which I did. So, like, you can literally just give the book to someone else and, get the store credit. I tend to think that maybe he was trying to do something like that because, a couple of things just weren't clicking. What he was saying to me and the way that he was reacting to me wasn't very nice. It was a very upsetting experience for him, not for me. I was ready with all guns blazing. He was getting upset at me. But anyways, we move on. I switched to McKay's, which is like a half a day's journey from my house. But, I go where I feel better. I vote with my dollar. Let's just say that. So, I'm taking the books that are finished up to McKay's. So, that's about every 3 months. So, I might do these like every 3 or 4 months. I don't know. Maybe 6 months. I don't know, because like I don't really go to Tennessee that much anymore, so I have a lot of books I usually take when I go to McKay's. But let's start with the books I'm actually taking to McKay's the next time around. And this is a finished bag. So if I do decide to do another one of these videos, or if y'all want me to do another one, it's all good. because I'll know not to use this bag. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Alright, so we have The Monster Within by Daniel Charles. This one I had to DNF. I just wasn't that into it, but someone else will be. It's like a typical monster book. The Temperature of Me and You. I love the premise. I love superhero stories. But there were a lot of things in this book that I did not like, that were very upsetting to me. There were some fatphobic jokes. There was one other queer character who was lesbian, I think she was, and she was mean. She was basically a mean girl, and I don't really like that trope. And then there was just a couple of things that were said. I just, it didn't vibe with me. So I gave that one a 1.5 out of 5, and I do not want to own my shelves. Vanish Me by Matthew Goldberg. I really like this book, but I don't like it enough to keep it on my shelves. And the other two I did also donate, or not donate, but sell. So I'm selling it to the same shop. So hopefully someone will be like, yay, book 3. Dream Annie Dream by Waka T. Brown. I got an extra copy of this. Next one is By Way of Sorrow by Robyn Gigl. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced it. I have that one, and oh wait, no, the other one was an ARC. The other one I gave away, I got 2 copies of this and 2 copies of the other one. The other 2 I gave away, but this one, it was good, or I heard it's good, but it doesn't really it doesn't seem like something that I would really pick up or have time for with, you know, the TBR issue. So I'm giving it to someone that's going to have time to read it. The Last Lumenian by S.G. Blaise. Beautiful book, but so confusing. I don't know what was happening in the story. It's just very badly developed and not for me. So maybe it'll be for someone else. Same for True Terrarian. Same issues. It's just underdeveloped. I didn't know what was going on with the story. Sway With Me by Syed and Masood. This was an okay story, but there are a couple things in here that are a bit problematic. A lot of things that Own Voice reviewers have pointed out. And his first book, which was More Than Just a Pretty Face, I believe, it left me with like a fairly negative impact. I had forgotten that this was the same author until I got this book. So, you know, not worth keeping on my shelves, because not worth the memories. Everywhere You Don't Belong by Gabriel Bump. This was a pretty good book. It was impactful. I liked it, but just not something I want to keep on my shelves. But I really think that it can be something that can get passed on to someone else. Knight's Ransom by Jeff Wheeler. Again, this was a pretty good book, but something that I don't have room for on my shelves. I have very limited shelf space, if you have seen in my other videos, so I have to be very picky with what I keep. Star Mother by Charlie N. Holmberg. Interesting premise, but it was a 2 out of 5 for me. I did not like this book. It was very out there. Very out there. The Fowl Twins by Eoin Colfer. It was an okay book, but this is book 3. I don't have book 1 or 2. I'm not that big into Artemis Fowl, and it just, I didn't particularly enjoy the story. Like, for me to keep something, it has to be like super memorable. This one wasn't. I Know Your Secret by Daphne Benedis-Grab. This was a really, really fun read, and I would read it again, but for a mystery element and stuff like that, it's underdeveloped, and the ending is meh. Like, it's not worth to me to keep. Alright, so that is it for the what I'm going to sell bag, and now it's going to be what I'm going to put into the free little library bag. I usually go whenever a bag is full, but I might try to wait until there's 2, because there is a free little library that I frequent that is almost always out of books, and I really want to stock it this time. So we got The Photographer by Mary Dixie Carter. This was an interesting thriller, but unfortunately nothing that's memorable to me. Sorry, nothing that was memorable to me, so I'm not going to keep it. Again, The Temperature, Me and You. They sent me a finished copy and an ARC. They do this occasionally. I don't know why, because I don't need both of them. But they sent me this as well, and we already know the issues about this book. Lycanthropy and Other Chronic Illnesses by Kristen O'Neill. I had actually thought that I had given away this copy, but apparently not. But there are some troubling aspects to this book that a lot of own voice reviewers, Indian reviewers have pointed out, and it's not something that I want to review because it's not worth my time. So, yeah. The Witch, the Sword, and the Cursed Knights by Alexandria Rogers. This is a fantastic book. It's Harry Potter-like, full of whimsical and mystery. If you like Of School, Good and Evil, this one is another series to get into, but it just wasn't for me. I really couldn't get into it. I had some issues with it, so it's going to go to some child who really wants to read it. The Legend of the Dream Giants by Dustin Hansen. Again, another one that was very, very fun and mystical, but nothing I really want to keep. I already talked about this one along with the other one. This is the second book that I got to promote Robyn Gigl. So it's just not for me, but it'll be for someone else, and I'm glad that someone else can make it a part of their library. Clean Air by Sarah Blake. This one was a fun cli-fi, which is a climate sci-fi a book. It was thriller-ish, but just nothing that really was impactful for me, so nothing I would want to keep. Beyond the Lavender Fields by Arlem Hawks. This was a beautiful, beautiful book. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5. I can't remember. But based during the French Revolution. It's historical fiction. But again, nothing that was super impactful for me. The Counterclockwise Heart by Brian Farrey. This one was a fun read, but nothing that I really want to keep. Ultimately, I really want to donate this one because a lot of kids do frequent the free little library that I usually donate to. Kingdom of Ink and Paper by Matthew Newman. This was another high fantasy-like read. Fun book, but again, nothing I want to keep. And then Shattered Midnight by Danielle Clayton. I am only getting rid of this one because I actually ended up getting a finished copy. And I want other people who might not be able to afford the book be able to have a chance to read it. And I actually already reviewed this one. It's a fantastic book, 5 out of 5. And I know someone else is going to love it just as much as me. But yeah, that is it. That is everything that I have, I am unhauling currently. Won't be able to get to the Oaksville Free Library or McKay's this weekend, but soon-ish I will. So that's what's going. But yeah, let me know if you want any more Unhaul videos, and thank you guys so much. See you again. Bye.